Do you know what is the real definition of greatness? Or what is your definition of greatness? What we're going to do today, this is Coach Antonio Landis Thompson, and you're listening to Winners for Life Coaching Podcast, a place where you discover your success, your greatness, your purpose, your destiny, and come all what you were designed to be. Sit back and relax and let us go on a journey together of transformation. Certified credential coach through the International Coaching Federation. And today we are going to look at Mr. Duane Kyle. Let me see if you could see this. Duane Kyle. We're going to look at his book, Greatness Redefined. And I'm just in chapter 1. I've just finished chapter 1, and it's been amazing. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get coached by an international speaker, Mr. Duane Kyle. I met him at the Empowerment to Win Summit like around December or January sometime last year. We stayed connected, and look at that signed copy there. Oh, let me see if you can see that, a signed copy. Oh, sit back, relax. Let's just go in. But before we go in, thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for sharing to the podcast. You want all that good stuff, some more motivation, some more teaching, some more inspiration, some more coaching. Visit AntonioLandisThompson.com. That's AntonioLandisThompson.com. Oh, but can I get permission to coach you this evening? Oh, I'm not even. I just got here. I took off my shoes. I was like, I just have to get into this. I went to bed reading this chapter. I finished chapter 1 last night, and it's rocked my world. It's give me a better understanding of greatness. Like Winner for Life Coaching Podcast is a place where you discover your success, your greatness. So this is on target for us out there who listen to the podcast. I want you to know that everything that's said between us is confidential. It's confidential between me and you unless you want me to share it. What are your expectations? What are your expectations? What do you want to get out of this podcast talking about greatness? Redefined Greatness by Mr. Duane Kyle. How to break false labels, discover your purpose, and live the life you were born for. Chapter 1, man. This book is so good. Chapter 1. Oh, this is so good. We live in the Western world where we have false perceptions of what greatness is. We have false perceptions of what greatness is. And I like how he talked in this book about you can win the accolades. You could win the NBA championships. You could be a successful lawyer, a successful doctor. You could be a successful coach, a successful speaker, someone who motivates and teach. And you achieve all of these awards for the books you read, for your publications, for the music songs you produce, for the movies you produce. You could have all this notoriety, all of this fame, but he made it plain. He said, but if you don't have a relationship with your son, it's not really greatness. I can coach people and help them and assist them and help them reach their potential and fulfill their purpose in life. But if I'm not a good dad at home, if I'm not a good husband, then am I really living in greatness, or am I living a warp or a false pretense of greatness? And I like how he goes on to talk about we have this perception of greatness of this one, this one, this one. What happens is like when you go to those speaking engagements, they have the billionaires, the millionaires, they have the ones who, the influencers, the ones who have millions of podcast followers, the ones who are big on social media. What happened? Where are the teachers? I don't know if every teacher make $1 million. Where are those teachers in those classrooms? Where is that gentleman that lives in the neighborhood? Maybe never got a high school education, maybe never went to college, but that man in the neighborhood, he represents greatness because he meant to all those boys around there. He became a father to them. He became a father to those girls who never had a father. And when they think about greatness, they think about Mr. Brown, Mr. Harry, Mr. James, who grew up in the neighborhood. They don't have no social media following. They're not on social media. They don't have no books. They don't have no publications. But they represent greatness. Why? Because they impacted, check this out, not just people in their family, their kids, they impacted the communities. But when you go to a seminar, when you go to to listen to speakers, and it's sold out. Usually are the people up there who made a lot of money, who obtained wealth. But what is the person on principles? Where's that person? I'm not saying always, but where's that person? He don't have $1 million, but he's been faithful to his wife for 50 years. Oh, what about this parent, this gentleman? He don't have $1 million, but he shows up to every one of his kids' games. To me, that's greatness. I encourage you to go get this book. Here's something he said in his book. He said, if all your success comes at the cost of your family, your integrity, or your love for people, you did not achieve greatness. You just got a good at collecting stars, awards, and money. We could end the podcast right there. You see, in this community, Winners for Life Coaching Podcast, we bring information, not just to make you feel good, to challenge you, to make you feel uncomfortable. I went to bed feeling uncomfortable. Why? Because it was stretching my mindset about greatness. Because I don't care how much, I just came from a leadership class training with Coach Kelly, and they said something, you never stop learning. I'll say that again. Somebody else need to hear this. And for those who are just listening or watching, and we're looking at Redefining Greatness by Mr. Duane Kyle. This book just came out, How to Break False Labels, Discover Your Purpose. I love that word purpose, and live the life you were born for. If all your success comes at the cost of your family, your integrity, or your love for people, you did not achieve greatness. You just got good at collecting stats, awards, and money. In other words, if you sacrifice your family by any means necessary, you sacrifice your relationship with your wife or your husband, you sacrifice going to those games that your children have, you sacrifice those birthdays, but you say, I gotta be here always. And at the end of the day, you provide the nice home for your children. You have the money to send them to any college they want. You have the money to put them in any car that they want when they graduate from high school or college. But guess what? They don't know you. You fail as a father. And if you fail as a father, that's not greatness. He said, if all your success comes at the cost of your family, your integrity, or your love for people, you did not achieve greatness. You just got good at collecting star awards and money. Hey, not a championship, not a championship, not an award, not an award, not an award. It's not greatness. Because under reading in chapter 1, I understand there's two sides to greatness. There is an external factor of greatness, but to check that external factor of greatness, you check the internal or behind the scenes. Because I heard someone say this. I don't want to quote the person, but I heard someone say this. They said, if you are a success on the outside of your home, but you're a failure in the home, your kids don't love you, you can't have a conversation with them, You can't have a conversation with your wife. It's like it's like in your house, you like no one knows you. But on the outside, everybody's into you. And you getting all those awards. You failed. Because society tell you go out by any means necessary, work as much hours you can want, and hustle. You don't have to hustle your way to success. Hmm? Like I said something a couple weeks ago, your abundance, and I'm not the first one to say, your abundance is your birthright. Your greatness is your birthright. You were placed in this world not because you are great. Hmm? You were placed in this world because you are great. You were born for greatness. Mm. I want to check in with you. You're hearing this word greatness. What are you thinking about right now? What's coming up to you? Hmm? What emotions are you feeling in this moment? Mm. And I don't want to go too much into the chapter. I don't want to read too much of it. I encourage you to go get the book. I'm going to put a link in the description where you could be able to connect with him. And he have some questions here, but I put them down as coaching questions. Ooh. Coaching questions by Mr. Duane Kyle, whose book is called Redefined Greatness. Greatness Redefined. Sorry, Greatness Redefined. And I want to ask you these coaching questions. I put them down as coaching questions. As a coach, I'm always looking at the lens of a coach. Number one, where in your life are you overextending yourself for the sale of success? Oh, my. Hmm. Let's pause for a second. I want to read it again. Where in your life, think about an area in your life, are you overextending yourself for the for the sake of success? Where in your life are you overextending yourself for the sake of success? Hmm? What what areas of our lives are we hustling ourselves to achieve success? Or what areas in our lives are we overextending to obtain that greatness? Hmm? Overstanding. You might be overextending in your physical body. Ooh. I went on the scale. I say, buddy, whoo, I've been running, but I say, you know what? I have to tweak my eating again. Are you overextending yourself on that job? But it's causing you not to spend time with your wife or your kids? Are you overextending in that business? Because they say in order to be successful in life, you got to hustle. You got to hustle your way for success. That's a lie. You were never put in this world to hustle. Ooh. You were put on this earth to flow in your divine greatness. Another question. Who are you neglecting in the process? If you are overstanding yourself for the sake of success, who are you neglecting in the process? You're neglecting your family, your friends, your community. But you know what I realize? You are neglecting yourself. Hmm? Like I heard someone said tonight, Coach Kelly said he heard there was a clip or something with TD Jakes and say TD Jakes talked about how he held people for over 50 years or 50 years. But one thing he did not do, he did not clap for himself. Mm. Mm. He didn't clap for himself. Mm. So through this process of us overextending ourselves, are we neglecting our bodies? Are we neglecting our assignments? Another question. Who in your circle is cheering for you, but barely hears from you anymore? Ooh, who in your circle, think about all your friends and connection, who is cheering for you, but barely hears from you anymore? You know how there are people who praying for you, fasting for you, people who sending you voice notes, people who encourage you. They're in your corner cheering you on. They got your back. But guess what? They don't hear you. They don't hear from you no more. They don't see you no more. And I'm not saying that. To be honest, sometimes we give. You know how a relationship is two parts, man. If you always giving to me, giving to me, giving to me, giving to me, there comes a time when I should be giving back to you. But it's like a warp-sided relationship. It's friendship or connection. It's like a parasite. Let me get what I could get from you. But what are those people? Don't not forget the people who help you up the ladder. Because if you fall down, those same people are going to be to the bottom. But who are those people? This is a great coaching question. Who in your circle is cheering for you, but barely hears from you anymore? I wrote down the day I said, let me call this particular person, and before the night is out, I'm going to call them. You know that person that you probably haven't called in a little while? And forget if they didn't call you. Forget if they didn't text you. Forget if they didn't reach out to you. If they're on your mind, that's a reason. Sometimes people are on our minds is for a reason. Maybe we need to pray for them. Maybe we need just to call for them. And you know what I realize? Sometimes when people are on our minds and we try to reach out to them, plenty stories. They say, oh, he died. What you mean he died? He died last week. Last week. I was thinking about him for a couple weeks. You was thinking about him for a couple weeks because that was something inside of you telling him to reach out to you, telling you to reach out to that individual. Will it take the pain of losing someone you love for you to finally change? Ooh, we've seen that. Don't let the death of someone cause you to pause to change. Oh, that's what I like about. I put 100% right next to it. You can be a public success and a private failure and still call it greatness. Ouch! Gosh, we got to bring this to a close. This is only chapter 1. Maybe I might come back and do another chapter and revisit. Tell me what you think. You cannot be a public success and a private failure and still call it success. Oh boy. Ooh. You can post content that inspires strangers, but ignore the friend who calls you crying at midnight and call that greatness. So you motivate and inspire everybody, but guess what? Those people around you, you neglecting them. That's not greatness. But the truth is, real greatness really shows up in noise. It shows up in the quiet, hidden moments when no one's watching. We got to stop there. But the truth, when you look at Greatness Redefined by Duane Kyle, and I'm just giving you some little inserts. So I'm not giving you the book away. Go get this book. I sent my message today. I said, Greatness Redefined. We need love redefined. Somebody out there write a book on love redefined. Forgiveness redefined. Hope redefined. Success redefined. Greatness redefined. Check, already done. Purpose redefined. Destiny redefined. Maybe you need to write a book on redefining what it really is, the intent. And when you greatness redefined, meaning where you're going, he's taking us back to the original meaning and definition to what greatness is. Not in the eyes of culture, not in the eyes of our community, but he's taken us back to greatness redefined in the eyes of how God sees greatness. Boy. But the truth is, real greatness really shows up. Mm. But the truth is, real greatness really shows up in the noise. It shows up in the quiet, hidden moments when nobody's watching. Mm. You cannot be a public success and a private failure and still call it greatness. We posting everybody that we are great. We have the accolades, we have the fame, we have the followers. But if I'm successful on the outside of my home, but I'm failing as a dad, that's not greatness. That's a warp, distorted image. Greatness is not just achieving accolades and achieving fame. Greatness is what happened behind the scenes, like he said, when no one is watching. Mm. What is your takeaway today? What is your takeaway? Did you get a better understanding of what greatness is? Hmm? Were your expectations met? And I speak a blessing over this book. My prayer is that this book will reach millions of people so they can get an understanding of what greatness is. Don't go after fame in the sacrifice of losing your health, your family. Don't go after fame to be loved on the outside, but neglect that purpose that is in you. Don't go after likes. And I'm talking to myself too. Don't go after likes and followers and neglect that greatness that is inside of you. This is Coach Antonio Landis Thompson, and you've been listening to Winners for Life Coaching Podcast, a place where you discover your success, your greatness, your purpose, your destiny, and become all what you were designed to be. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast, following the podcast. If you want more inspiration, more motivation, more coaching podcast, visit AntonioLandisThompson.com. And we did something that we did today. I think this might have been the first or second book, I'm not sure, that we kind of reviewed. And I only reviewed the first chapter. We talked about Greatness Redefined by Mr. Duane Kyle. And he's given us an understanding on what true greatness is. What true greatness is, not from a world perspective, not from what we learn in the universities, not from what we just learn in probably some books, but he gives us an understanding of what true greatness is from God's perspective of greatness. Remember, there's no secret to your success. There's a wealth of greatness inside of you. You are the captain of your ship and the master of your destiny. Your purpose was never lost. Your purpose is inside of you, waiting to be discovered. Release your purpose today. Oh, mm, mm. But the truth is, real greatness really shows up in the noise. It often shows up in the quiet, hidden moments when nobody's watching. And I want to end with this last quote from his book. You cannot be a public success and a private failure and still call it greatness. You cannot be a public success and a private failure and still call it greatness. Mr. Duane Kyle, thank you for producing this masterpiece and giving us an understanding of what true greatness is. Greatness Redefined by Duane Kyle. Continue to release your greatness today. And remember, greatness is your birthright, and greatness is your DNA. Love you. Thanks for listening. Your day is going to be amazing. Blessings.